Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Logic Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Handelabra products include Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, Spirit Island, Horizons of Spirit Island, Sentinels of Earth Prime, and One Deck Galaxy, all available on Steam, mostly on iOS and Android. One Deck Dungeon is also on Switch. You can find more information on those games at handelabra.com. I apologize if I am a bit tongue-tied tonight because I just finished doing like 2 hours of video lecture. Classes started this week and I needed to prepare videos for my online class before tomorrow, and that kind of got pushed back until right before the stream. And so let's go right into the stream after having done 2 hours of lecture. Surely nothing can go wrong, right? Yeah, this is going to be a rather busy semester for me because I am doing 4 classes technically, 12 credit hours, plus I also have the second job that I do that is turning more and more into a full-time job as well, plus my streaming over here. So I suppose now is a good opportunity to kind of make an announcement, I suppose. This is not an announcement about Handelabra directly or products of Handelabra, just on my streaming schedule here. To this point, I've been doing 2 streams a week, one on Thursday for Dolphin's Dive, one on Sunday for Spirit Island Sundays. After this coming Sunday, I am just going to stick with the Thursday stream, so only Dolphin's Dive for me. I will be taking part on this coming Spirit Island Sundays. It will be my last one for at least the rest of the semester, and yeah, just because I will have a lot on my plate. Yeah, real life is a thing, and I'm probably overworking myself as is. But that's okay, because I am young, I am resilient, I can bounce back. But that doesn't stop me from playing Spirit Island on my own stream, which I very well might do. But not today, because today is One Deck Galaxy Day. I don't really have a set agenda for what I'm doing, other than just playing random games for the time being. There's not really been any updates to this. I don't think there's even been updates to the beta build, so I just need to make sure that I report bugs when I see them and not ignore them, as I sometimes do. Random.org. Generate me 2 numbers between 1 and 5. I got 4 and 2. Tim Tiddlywinks Explorers. And then generate another number between 1 and 3. I got 2, so Optimization Calibrator. I feel like I'm always playing Optimization Calibrator, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. Just because there's 3 adversaries, it's... Hopefully the other 2 get added, but I do know that they're currently still working on the tutorial. Because I think I read that there are still people that are confused with game mechanics, despite all of the additions to the gameplay. In any case, we have Tim Tiddlywinks. So 4 energy, 4 materials, 2 diplomacy with water. The base milestone, end the results phase with no cards in the discovery zone. And the base tech, salvage rights, roll an ultra tech die or use a tech from an encounter in the discovery zone. And that was a fun game a couple weeks ago where you just used this with a tech in the discovery zone in order to get 5 techs used in 1 turn to get to Federation level 3 on turn 1. But we don't have that in this game because we're playing with the Explorers. So the milestones have 5 of 1 resource, have 4 each of 2 resources, have 3 each of 3 resources. But we can count resource icons in the discovery zone as if they were attached to my homeworld. So I don't need to claim so many colonies and techs, but I do need to kind of play around the resources that appear in the discovery zone and kind of strategically eliminate cards if they don't fulfill any of my milestones. The tech here is Probe Armada. At base level, you return up to 2 dice and gain that many Ultra Tech 3s. At Federation level 3, you return up to 3 dice and gain that many Ultra Tech 4s. And at Federation level 5, you return up to 4 dice and gain that many Ultra Tech 6s. So generally these techs get better at higher Federation levels. This one is no exception. Certainly at the base level, you can turn your worst dice, your 1s, into some 3s, which isn't really that much of an improvement, but at the highest level, you get basically guaranteed 6s, and I mean, if you're at Federation level 5, you need to be at 4 in order to be able to win the game, to confront the adversary enough times. But if you've hit 5, you've done every single one of your milestones, you're probably in super winning territory, and this is just to make sure you can win the game quickly enough. But we are playing with the optimization calibrator, so they gain influence at the start of each turn as usual, but we also have to cash dice based on the influence that they have. Kind of this text is falling off the screen currently, but what it says is that for each influence that did not have a die at the end of the turn, you are overwhelmed once. But as an action, you may move a die from your pool to the adversary's influence. Each influence can hold 1 die. These count as if they were in the cache for restrictions. And the 2 starting restrictions is that you cannot cache a die if there are already at least X dice of its color in the cache, X meaning the highest revealed number on the adversary. And you can only cache a die that is higher than all dice of its color in the cache. So if I've placed a blue 4 in the cache, and I want to cache another blue die, it has to be 5 or 6. So you have to make sure you're not caching super high dice early on, otherwise you'll be very limited in space. No pun intended. But we do get these dice back over time. At the start of the action phase, if the adversary has 4 influence, discard them. Choose 3 cached dice, or 4 if there are 10 or more cached dice, and move them to your pool. Now we are caching 6 dice per cycle though, so the adversary will be generally gaining more dice over the course of the game. And if an encounter escalates because we couldn't deal with it, then they get an extra die. We roll a die from the supply placed in the cache, ignoring all restrictions. Plus the events will also roll a die from the supply and add it to the cache, ignoring all restrictions. But yeah, generally optimization calibrator will be adding dice. You can't spend time, you can't take your time in this game, you have to always make progress. And if you don't confront the adversary within the first 7 turns, you will lose because you'll be forcibly overwhelmed because you won't be able to place a die, which is one thing I've learned. All right, let's play. So if you've never played this game before and it's confusing the way that I'm doing it, well, that's because I've skipped all of the text that explains all of the individual things. But feel free to ask questions. I will answer them to the best of my ability. And yeah. So to confront, you could perhaps even confront right now, actually. I don't really like that 4 though. And that I think actually kind of screws this up a lot. Oh no, it doesn't. We can get the 22. So we can confront. The main advantage of confronting, other than, I mean, getting the Federation disc, is that we increase X from 2 to 3, which means that we can cache dice more reliably because we won't be able to be hitting the cap on dice. As you can see, we're limited to 2 energy dice, 2 materials dice, 2 diplomacy dice, and 2 ultra tech dice. But once I confront, that becomes 3. And you need to confront 4 times to win, so it's not really like I'm wasting dice by doing that, but maybe I can make progress somewhere else. So we do have our milestones. Ending the results phase with no cards in the Discovery Zone is most easily accomplished just by studying all of the cards that are in the Discovery Zone, except we do have the Solidarians here, which is kind of rough because they require 2 Starbase discs to deal with, in addition to the 556 and 6 science and the 3 fleets. So, that's going to be hard to deal with. It is an encounter though, so we can use salvage rights to use that tech. So we can still roll the Ultra Tech die, or we can use Improvitron Collector to spend 1 fleet to increase 3 of my dice by any amount. And that is really powerful, because that can turn my worst dice into better numbers. I could even combo that with Probe Armada, because I can still return 2 of my dice and gain Ultra Tech 3s, and then those 3s can turn into 6s, and those 6s can go anywhere. So that is definitely a tech I would love to have, but whether I would be able to actually have it remains to be seen. Well, and getting those 6s will actually help with hitting this threshold as well. Let's see, so let's pull these out for a moment because I want to think. There's not really anything better I can put there because I don't have any other 4, and even with Improvitron Collector, I won't be able to get why would I get a 4 when I can get a 6, you know? So let's return these dice. Oh, I also had these over here. Ow. Maybe I should return those. Well, actually, I do want to have a low number, so that 1 is fine for that. Let's return these. And then use this tech, spend the fleet, increase these 2 6s. And now I can still confront, but I also have these 3 dice left over that I could use in another capacity. So upgrading the starbase would be nice if I can guarantee I can get the Solidarians. I'm not sure I can, no, as I would have to upgrade the starbase like on the next turn. I'm not gonna have enough to study or probe or enough. I mean, it might as well just be like do a probe, honestly. This is 3 dice. It could be a 4 would be great. It could be a 2 would be bad. But not only would I have to upgrade the starbase next turn, I would have to also have 6 science left over, so I don't think this is gonna happen. I can, however, still use the Improvitron Collector while this is out, and that would be nice for being able to hit dice wherever I need it to go. But basically we're going to have the escalate happen. Is there any reason to want to consider putting the dice towards the locations that we have here? Get 1 influence on Twenso if I put the energies here. Don't really like that. I could get 2 influence on Twenso if I actually use one of these dice and then put these dice in here. Slightly better, I guess. Do I care about Twenso? Artisanal Ultra Tech is a pretty good skill later in the game, but otherwise not really super great. That said, we do have an innate water, and there are 2 waters out here. So if we're hitting 5 of 1 resource, water is going to be the easiest, and we would like to therefore claim this, as well as the SS Sunlight. Just because once we add that as a tech or as a colony, we will have that resource permanently, and then the replaced location will also contribute to my resource pool. But if I study it, then obviously it goes away. So what do I want to do here? The thing is, though, that like this only really gives me tech stars. Artisanal Ultratech. I mean, once Improvatron Collector is gone, I guess this gives me a better thing than just rolling an Ultratech, because it will give me an Ultratech with value 3, but otherwise it's just tech stars which can fuel other techs. We do have 3 waters because we are the explorers, but I don't know. I don't really want to launch the probe. I don't really like probing for 3 days. Let's stick with this. I think this is fine. I'm not studying that. So now in order to confront again, I need Federation level 2. It's quiet tonight. Yeah. I tend to not get that many chatters. I tend to not get that many chatters for some reason. You've been the most reliable chatter in the past month. So applause to Nezu for being awesome. You are MVP. But otherwise, yeah, I don't really get that many people. Right, so in terms of the cash, I can definitely do ones off of the material into diplomacy. I'm fond of that. And I can use the combination of Improvatron Collector and Probe Armada to get the remaining ones into Ultratech 6s. And since we're not confronting, we have a lot of dice left over, so we can perhaps do more this turn than the last turn. So we can... Oh, Twinso doesn't want Ultratechs? Okay. Let's then do this a little differently then. Convert those, and that way I can do that. I'll give me Twinso. Claim Artisanal Ultratech probably. I can't work on SS Sunlight because I don't have fleets. If I want to use Improvatron Collector next turn, I need fleets. I made these 6s, but if I want Vo, I probably don't want those to be 6s, huh? I can't actually, I could do, oh, I can't do that, but I can do this. One influence there. I'll probably take the colony there. Gain a diplomacy 6 or spend 2 fleets to roll 2 diplomacies and 1 Ultratech. I would probably just want the tech star and the energy die, honestly. Alright, so I guess with the 6s that I have left, I'm gonna throw them here. Get 3 fleets. The only thing is that this 2 is not doing anything. I could, instead of getting influence on Vo, I could do a probe. Or I could study Vo and still not have a use for that too. I think a probe would be slightly better because it's possibly a 3 or a 4, and it uses that last die. You don't need to use every die, but it seems silly to waste a die like that. Unless there's just no reason. Yeah, so the options are 2 more fleets. If I get 2 more fleets, then we could deal with SS Sunlight, I guess. SS Sunlight's not that hard to get, it's just annoying because you do have to spend 4 fleets up front and then put the 2s down, but I do like those dice. Don't think I care about Extractqueduct. It will take a lot of time to get though, because I definitely need a lot of fleets for that. I guess that's fine. Let's get the fleets. What am I gonna do with this though? Don't know. The Unseen. The Unseen is interesting because rapid deployment gives me fleets which will help me get SS Sunlight without having to spend as many dice over here. I do have to spend 2 fleets for that though, and consequently not get a turn on the SS Sunlight. Plus, let's not forget that I have to do these things. Next turn, I'm reclaiming these dice, so this would be a fine turn to put 6s down. We can get 6s with the Improvatron Collector. I only have 2 techs, so I can't do all of these things. I probably don't need to do Probe Armada. Could also do rapid deployment, I suppose. If I do that, I can put those as 6s in here and claim those in next turn. I could also put an Ultra Tech in there. Those are what, 1s and 2s? I don't know if that would have been nice. Let's see, can I get this? I think I can, it's not that hard. Main downside of that is that I'm not getting a tech star, really. Could like do this to get 1 influence on bow. I can't because it can't be a 6. It's because I didn't have to do, like I already had 6 for that. Yeah, so I could have made that be a different value if I wanted. Also, these are all different values. But again, I could undo the Improvatron Collector to fix that. The main downside of gaining rapid deployment is I only have 2 tech stars. But once Improvatron Collector is gone, because this is going to escalate, I'm not going to be using that tech as much. Or, I'm not going to be using that tech. I'm not going to be using salvage rates as much. And I could use rapid deployment next turn to get the 4 fleets, so I can still get SS Sunlight next turn at least. So let's do a probe. Okay. So this is gonna escalate. Let's roll an Ultra Tech, because I don't tend to put those in here too often. And if it's a 6, I'm just gonna take it back, I guess? Maybe not. 5 of 1 resource, because we got 5 waters. Yay. These 2 were replaced with waters. That made that easy. And the Uplifters is here. Uplifters is really interesting. We could maybe get it this turn. Although I'm not getting 6s as easily as I used to. But like if I take these 2 dice, and maybe this one, let's start there. I do have the 9 science for it. Escalation beam is eventually a 6 skill. But this is a lot of dice to get, and we like are overloaded on text right now. Yeah, I think this dice is more important than this. We need more volumes of dice moving forward. So I could get the diplomacy with the blue and black 6s, and then the energy with a little bit of an overshoot. Can fix that a little bit. I'm at Federation level 2, so this is increasing up to 2 dice by 2. And this is an Ultra Tech 4. So like if I take that 4, I can actually recover the 6 out. Or maybe the 2 3s might be better. In any case, yeah, let's do that. I'm again not making progress in the Essence Sunlight, but Uplifters seems to be good. We can also confront, since we are at Federation level 2. I don't think there's a benefit. Oh, there is. 4. Okay. Well, we're not hitting that cap at the moment, so I think it's fine. Okay. So if I want to work on the no cards in the Discovery Zone, I kind of want to clear out the cards that have high science costs, because those are harder to study. Or we could put dice on them, or influence on them, and then they're easy to study, but pretty big waste of resources there. I think I still want the SS Sunlight though, even though we did just get the 5 water. We have 3 water innately. So I don't really need both of these for the remaining ones. I need 4 of 2, I need 3 of 3. So I just need 1 of those, maybe, at most to gain. Oh, except I'm gaining the Uplifter, so I don't need either one. Or no, sorry, I misread the entire screen. I don't have 3 innately, because okay, there's 3 out here. I have, yeah, you can actually see the colonies I have. I don't even have any colonies. But you can see, yeah. Okay, so Twinso is my water, and my own card is a water, although you can't really tell that too easily right now. I don't know if that's something I should report, that you can't actually look at your own card. Like, you can look at your own card in one deck dungeon, right? I think I'm gonna report it. I don't know if it's a bug. Maybe I say it's a feature. I'm determining the resources and dice that I have innately versus those gained. I can currently reverse engineer this. But but I should be able to look at my own cards, right? We can do this in one deck dungeon. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to do this here. Be able to look at my own my own my own cards. I don't know how to phrase it. My own homeworld society cards. Yeah, sure. It's a feature. It's not really that important, but it's just helpful to remind myself what is the starting resource that I have. And the interesting thing is that if you're very familiar with the homeworld, then you can actually figure it out. But the explorers are a society, and they're the ones that care about resources, so it's not like every explorer game you start off with 1 water. Plus, in a 2-player game, the resources you start with are also slightly different, so yeah. Okay. Still have only 1 tech. Do I want 3s? Do I want fleets? I want science. I want fleets. I guess the fleets for SS Sunlight. Yep, that's what we wanted. So we'll save that for next turn. And yeah, I'm just gonna focus on SS Sunlight, I guess. Uplifters plus SS Sunlight gives me the 4 water. And we have an innate, sorry, we have 2 fuels? No, we have 1 fuel from the Unseen. So if I were to claim Vo, I would have another fuel, and it would help with the 4 of 2 or 3 of 3. So I already have some progress in that regard. So I could study Chelonis. It's interesting, because actually this is the same threshold. If you have 3 waters, reroll. If you have 3 waters, reroll. Really interesting, but I do think I want the diplomacy die. You could technically get it from here, but I also want the tech star, so I'm just gonna work on Chelonis. I don't have any Starbase tokens, so maybe I should work on upgrading to Starbase. I can study Chelonis and do a probe. And then I have 1 die left over. Again, it's a bit of a waste. I have the 4 fleets I need for SS Sunlight next turn. And rapid deployment is generally going to give me the fleets. Technically, I'm losing 2 fleets per turn, but I don't really feel like I need that many fleets. I mean, if I want to deploy the sat fields, but I never really care about that side. If I were on Starbase level 2, I'd just be throwing the extra die over here, but I'm not there. And that sucks. I need to play this game better. The only other thing I could think of is I could put the 3s back in there and pull the 6 out, and then I'm not wasting dice anymore. There. That feels better. Ocean 1, the worst one. Although it's actually easy to get if you have enough diplomacy. Because you can do it in one turn, unlike most other locations. We're sitting on 1 crystal, 3 fuel, 4 water, so we could just keep cycling out this card until it's a fuel, and then we'll hit 4 each of 2 resources. Salvage rights, there's no encounters, so this would just be rolling an Ultra Tech. This is an Ultra Tech 4 guaranteed. 2 fleets, we probably want those always. And then Probe Armada is converting some dice to 3s. Ultra Tech 3s, that is. Ultra Tech 4 or turn 2 1s into an Ultra Tech 3, and before we get too far... I would be putting this 2 in here, but I do want that 2, do I? I guess it doesn't matter. Let's put the 2 in there. This 6 is really locking the diplomacy, or sorry, the materials, and materials is a really rich color, so I probably shouldn't have taken the Ultra Tech 6 out that turn. I did want it though, so I can get the uplifters. I have so many dice now. With this dice, I can do more things. So that gives me 3 influence towards the sunlight. This roll's kind of bad for that, but the Ultra Tech would fix that. Because I do want to study, or to get Vo, so I have that fuel. Study Soulworts. That takes 3 dice. I have a 3 and a 4, so I would like to have a 2. So I think I want to probe. I want to probe, and then I'm gonna have an extra die left over again. It's happening again. It's happening again. Although really the extra die is basically from the Artisanal Ultra Tech. It's fine, I think. I'm past caring about the loaded dice. Study, probe, I want a 2. I got a 2. Alright. I wanted a 2 because now I can do 3-3-2 and not waste science. I could study the SS Sunlight, but I didn't want that, so I'm not doing it. Alright, deck is at 6 cards. Let's keep an eye on that, because we do want to make sure we don't reveal an event too early, per se. We got 4 each of 2 resources, because we got that fuel. Good. Explorers are really fun, because you just hit these milestones almost randomly. Unlike the mathematicians, where you have to focus really hard in order to get those. Alright, so we do have an energy 2. And we could do an energy 3 or diplomacy 3, or we could do an ultra tech. I kind of like to not... Well, I guess we could do these into an ultra tech. I would kind of prefer like the last die to be the highest number, but we could confront and get an extra die out that way. Let's think about that for a sec. So let's get the 2 fleets so I can do that. So I can get 2-2. And we'll get the SS Sunlight next turn as long as I have enough fleets. And right now I do need to put fleets down because my rapid deployment won't give me enough next turn. The other one is 3 each of 3 resources. We only have 1 innate fuel. We don't need this water anymore, I guess. Still kind of want the dice and a tech star. So, also Probe Armada is leveled up. We can now return 3 dice and gain Ultra Tech 4s. versus just getting an Ultra Tech 5. Alright, what about Vo? We could do this to get that influence. Claim Vo. I think I want the Tech Star over this. It does give me a Diplomacy 6, but we are really bad on Tech Stars right now. I'm also going to be hitting the cap on energy. I'll be at 6 energy with 2 in the cash, so I probably shouldn't cash another energy. Cashing the Diplomacy makes more sense. So let's cash the 3. It's not going to be ideal, but I could cash like an Ultra Tech 6 next turn or something like that, I guess, and try to make that work. So I can gain fixes 2 turns from now, which I like to do. We got Vo, we made the progress on the SS Sunlight. We don't have enough Starbase discs to claim the top row of Nom Nomad. Don't really have the numbers for the 13. Also, no dice with values 1, 2, or 3. So I can't use these. We do want to probably claim the 2 influence twice and the 3 influence once if we're going for, like, optimal numbers. What is it? 3 each of 3? Yeah, so we do want another fuel. Spend 2 fleets to roll a die of each color. Not a bad skill. Tech, whatever. This does give me a lot of tech stars, but the energy die we're hitting a cap on anyway, so I probably don't want that tech. And then Ocean 1 is just in the way, really. Let's see. So this is going to give me... So looking back at the deck, by the way. This is giving me an influence, which is going to be a card from the deck. This is giving me 3 influence, which is 1 extra card from the deck. So there's 1 card left in the deck. So, like, if I study Ocean 1, there's only 1 card left in the deck. It discards 3 cards, which forces the reshuffle, and that will result in the adversary event being revealed, which will be resolved next turn. I would like to not resolve it next turn. I want to hold off on 1 turn on that. If I gain fleets, I will also... Okay, so I want to gain only 2 fleets, I guess, because we only have 1 card left over. So, like, if I do this, that's fine. I can gain 1 extra... No, I can't, because that'll be an extra card. I also can't gain any more influence, for that matter. Also, it doesn't have to be those dice, because those are the best dice. Maybe I have to accept that I'm getting an adversary event, because I would like to not just waste 4, 5 dice like this. Because I could gain the 2 influence there. And then I have 2 dice left over that don't do anything. My description still says Spirit Island? Sorry, I thought I updated that. I didn't check that, though. I think the Restream app bugged when I tried to update it. Yeah. Well, because I'm typing in 1 deck and it's not giving me suggestions. Type in Spirit and it gives me suggestions. Type in 1 D and then it stops. Jagged Earth just got showcased. Oh yeah, on the Handelabra Live. Let me see if I can use the dashboard to do this directly. One Deck Galaxy. There's 443 followers, not okay, I was thought they were viewers. There we go. What is this game called? One Deck Galaxy. One Deck Galaxy. It is currently in early access on Steam, but it is based off of the card/dice game that was kickstarted and released early this year, I think January. Or at least I remember playing it physically in January. You know of One Deck Dungeon, you haven't seen this variation. It's very similar to One Deck Dungeon, but also very different than One Deck Dungeon. It uses dice. That's the similarity. There are challenge squares. That's the similarity. Alright, so am I gonna do anything with these dice? Can I do anything with those dice? I can gain another fleet. But like nothing in SS Sunlight, nothing in Vogue because I'm claiming that. I guess actually if I moved these dice over here, I'd have 2 4s. I'm not sure what that does for me. Like nothing. Ocean 1, I can't do any of theirs. I don't have 15 diplomacy. If I were to do like this instead, would that like... No. I mean, I could try to cash an Ultra Tech instead. Like if I convert these. Then I have this extra 3, which kind of sinks, but if I use these, then I have a better number there, I guess. I have an Ultra Tech die 1. I can cash a Diplomacy next turn, which I couldn't have done before, and then I can throw this over for the fleet. I still have the 2 on Num Numud. I still have Vo. I still have a full SS Sunlight. Yeah, so that seems better. And I wanted the Techstar/Energy die. Adversary event set aside. I don't want to study that. So the adversary event is going to be a roll of the die, plus we have a restriction. A die cannot be cashed if 3 or more dice of its value are already there. So I can't cash 1s anymore, because I have 3 1s. 4 1s even. Everything else is just 1s off. Hey, Vo is back. A different Vo as Crystal. And now we have to cash 3 dice. But first, this. I have to do that because I have to unlock the first row to do the second, and the first isn't enough to get the SS Sunlight this turn, but yay, we got the SS Sunlight. Alright. So I'd like to cash the Energy 6. I can't cash the Diplomacy. Sorry, the Energy. Sorry, the Materials. I always call this by all the wrong names first. I can't cash any more Energy because 6 is too high. Oh yeah, I have to... I actually have to watch out because I have to cash a Diplomacy and I have to cash an Ultra Tech to not get overwhelmed. I do have this token, but... So... I guess I'm going to be cashing this die. I could cash the Ultra Tech 5. I suppose. Oh well. Still can't do Namnamud. I don't have enough fleets. I can get a lot of influence this turn though, and I can claim it next turn. We have a Vo. I also have to make progress on the adversary at some point. But the dice I have here aren't good for that, so I think I'm just gonna do it with all the dice we get next turn. Uh-oh, we got the music bug. That's weird, we got the music bug despite exiting and re-entering. I don't know why there's a music bug, but there is. The second game always has the music bug even if you exit re-enter. No dice with value 6. We can make a lot of progress on that. Do I want Vo? I mean, if I want the 3 of 3 resources, I do need to start collecting another resource. Thing is, I don't want the energy die because I'm hitting the cap. Roll a material or spend 2 fleets to gain a material 6, Ultra Tech 3. Not super fond of that either. I could just gain a Tech Star, I guess. That's not the worst. I think we're gonna probe Armada these dice instead of rolling another Ultra Tech. That's all I can do for those cards. Maybe I want a little more fleets, but I'm gonna get rapid deployment next turn anyway, so it doesn't matter. Maybe I spend 3 dice to do a probe. Could study Ocean 1 to get it out of the way, because I don't think I'm ever getting it. Maybe not, because like Probe Armada gives me the Ultra Tech, Artisanal Ultra Tech gives me that, Kaleidoscopic Grid gives me a bunch of things. Maybe I can eventually get it without having to worry about studying it, but I mean, like, each turn that is sitting here and I'm not doing anything with it, like, while discarding 3 cards for studying it sucks, so is just having a dead square, right? I think I'm just gonna do a probe. I would study it if I was guaranteed to get the no Discovery Zone cards thing, but I'm not. I guess I could actually. I could very easily just forego all of my progress on these, but I'm stubborn. We're not losing the game just yet. I do need to start confronting, but we are going to start confronting, so it's fine. Rise Twin with more crystals. Nice. And let's get the 6, and the Ultra Tech. Oh, we get 4 dice. Okay, so I'll also take that. Okay. But now there's only 5 dice I can place here, which means that I am gonna run out of dice and get overwhelmed if I don't confront. But I mean, I'm already confronting this turn. I'm not confronting. I can use all my techs, but I have an issue where I don't have enough Ultra Techs. I have 3 left in the pool. If I use Probe Armada, I get 3 4s. But then I won't be able to get this 5. Can't really waste dice though. Can't waste dice fast enough. Always doing that though. Always doing this to get Nom Nomad. Okay, that does that. To get Bow. Probably this. So if I were to study these two, we would have an empty discovery zone. But let's not forget this. So let's let's do this. It's actually really easy. Okay. So I still haven't used like any of my 3 ultra techs. I probably don't even need them. I just have so many dice. Like, study Ocean 1 and do 2 probes. I mean, Probe Armada doesn't actually add dice, I guess. Artisan, Ultra Tech, and Salvage Rights are the only one that will give me extra dice. Could use that to get fleets, I suppose. Because we are going to start using fleets with kaleidoscopic grid very frequently. Probably. Okay. I can upgrade. No cards in the discovery zone. Adversary event set aside because the deck was empty. And we don't have the last one, but we can win the game. Ocean 1 is back, by the way. Okay, so we do have to cash 1 die if we don't want to spend a adversary disc. Energy is tight. We can lose some of those. I think we do get those out. And that one, I guess. So we have like 2 of each color or something. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. He knows. I don't have Ultra Techs right now. I can do Verdant Network or roll an Ultra Tech. Verdant Network is just to roll a Diplomacy. But I mean, like, I don't have any spare Ultra Techs, so it's kind of better. Increase. Oh, because I slightly misread. I can actually increase 1 of my dice by 2. So the plant icon means the number of plants that you have. I have 1 plant, so I can increase 1 of my dice by 2. It's pretty good. I can hit the 6 on this. Still have an Artisanal Ultra Tech that would give me a die of value 6. I don't have a way of wasting 1 of these dice for a more, like, useful purpose. Like, I don't have a thing that, like, my colony doesn't, or sorry, my, homeworld tech doesn't allow me to just resolve 2 location rows and discard the dice used, because now I can get the dice back in my pool that way, or resolve the starbase and discard the dice used. So I kind of have to discard one of these dice and then get it back. I think you don't have to technically discard. You can hit the attack and it will ask for which die you want to discard, but I'm going to do it that way because I can. Now I have to hit 44. 44. 28, 33, 38, 43, 44. And we still haven't figured out what we're gonna set aside here. Probably just, I would like to do diplomacy just so I don't run out of like materials dice. I cashed that for. It's fine. We will probably win the game next turn and it will all be good. All my techs are used. And we have 9 dice left over. So the last one is 3 each of 3 resources. We don't need any of the fuels or the water, so we could study these 2. And if we get 2 plants out of it or 2 crystals, we'll hit the last threshold. We don't really care for it, but it does upgrade Probe Armada, which just makes sure that we can very easily win next turn. I guess that's fine. We could also study Hexfinity. I could do Hexfinity, Zabfab, and Probe. And that way I'm not discarding 2 cards for Ocean 1. But now I must spend a tech star to cash a die. Rude. Actually, don't want to roll that die. I want the Ultra Techs now. 6 is fine for the last number, honestly. We did not level up the Federation level, so we have to do this the hard way. Forsooth. I guess technically I should not just use skills in case I want to cash dice, but if I win the game, I don't care. But I don't necessarily need those fleets right now. Let's return these. Let's get that. We have the 6s. And we need to hit 55. And by God, we did it. We hit 55. Ease to the peas. So do I still have room to cash dice? I do. So we can even do that. And do that. And win the game. Your Federation has found success in their own way. Social media, be gone. Yeah, take that, X. You really should just replace this with X. This is the new Elon Musk Starbase. All right, cool. Let's try another one. So, just doing random stuff. I want to generate 2 random numbers between 1 and 5. I got 4, 1 until wings are back. Generate a number between 1 and 3. I got 1, so Nibelwoobers. That's a different game. So again, Tim to the Winks. 4 energy, 4 diplomacy. Sorry, 4 energy, 4 materials, 2 diplomacy, starting with water. Milestone, end the results phase with no cards in the discovery zone. Tech is salvage rights. Roll an ultra tech die or use a tech from an encounter in the discovery zone. We have the botanists this time as our society. Each of the milestones are the same. Have 7 dice of 1 color in your pool, or have 5 dice of that color with 0 remaining in the supply. And the tech on here is cubic farming, which allows us to store a die. Dice stored here are not removed during cleanup. Gain them to your pool after you gather dice. And at level 1, you store a die from your pool here increased by 1. At Federation level 2, store up to 2 dice from your pool here increased by 1. And at Federation level 3, you store up to 3 dice from your pool here increased by 1. I really love this tech because it really makes it like you basically grind these milestones in succession. So like you hit one of them by doing whatever you need to do to hit it. And then from there, you upgrade cubic farming so you can store 2 dice, which makes it easier to hit the next milestone. And then once you hit that milestone, then you're at milestone 3, so you can store 3 dice, which makes it easier to hit the 3rd milestone. So you basically farm up your milestones that way. Now you do have to store dice, which means that you can't use them for like, you know, usage in the game. But I mean, you gain them next turn, so it guarantees that you'll have dice of certain values in the next turn. So it also helps in that regard. We are fighting the Nibelwoobers. I don't know, I always call them the Nibelwoobers. They're the Nibelwoobers, guys. It just sounds like it. That's my headcanon now, that's how they call themselves. So they have a starting energy, material, and diplomacy. And when they escalate, they gather dice and tech stars for all of the icons they have. They roll them, gathering ultra techs in place of missing dice in case they're gone for some reason. Each die that is value X or higher and all gathered tech stars are added to their hoard. So starting at 3, every die that is 3 or higher is stored. If you confront, that becomes 4, and if you confront the second time, that becomes 5. And dice that are stored here, these are in a hoard, are stored on the adversary and are not returned to the supply during the results phase. So they're stealing dice. They're stealing it. Which means that actually we'll be able to hit these milestones because there might be 0 dice in the supply, as long as we can still keep 5. So they're stealing dice. How do we get it back? Well, we can negotiate. Twice per turn, you may make a purchase from the hoard. Spend either 6 science for all energy, 4 fleets for all materials, 3 influence from locations for all diplomacy, 5 tech stars for all ultra tech dice, or dice totaling 20 plus for all tech stars. Half of these dice are going to your pool, the rest of the supply, and then you roll the dice. The tech stars, obviously, you don't roll, but you still only take half to your pool. So when do they escalate? They escalate very frequently, actually. If the adversary has 3 influence, you discard 3 influence, and the Nibelwoobers gain a colony. Otherwise, they escalate, so they're going to escalate very frequently. And they'll also escalate if we can't deal with the encounters. And there's an extra loss condition at the start of the adversary phase. You are overwhelmed if the Nibelwoobers have at least twice as many colonies as your Federation level. So you are kind of racing to level up your Federation level. Don't be confusing this with confronting the adversary like I did the first time I played them, basically. Because you might think, oh yeah, if I've never confronted, I'm going to get overwhelmed if they have too many colonies. But actually it's based on your Federation level. So you can kind of ignore confronting, maybe. I mean, you kind of do want to confront to at least get to the 5. But it's not the confrontations that matter for that additional loss condition, it's your Federation level. And the event cards basically add extra colonies, sometimes extra effects as well. The worst one is to lower your star base by 2 classes. Or sorry, 1 class. If it is currently class 1, discard 5 cards. Rude. Alright, let's go. And they rolled high numbers, so they stole all of the dice. And we have the Uplifters and Solidarians. Excellent! We can't do this! This game's impossible! Oh well. We can't actually use their things, but... I'm not sure. Also, these are kind of... We rolled a 3-4-4-4 on our things. That's kind of bad. That's kind of bad. Alright, so the issue with Uplifters is we don't really have the dice for it. 18 on 2 different colors is really hard. The issue with Solidarians is that our star base is low level, plus we have to roll high numbers specifically on dice. So yeah, we're kind of sad in 2 regards. It's also bad to have the encounters because we can't end the results phase with no cards in the discovery zone so easily. Alright, so what do we want to store? I mean, we could store this 4 and maybe be able to confront Solidarians next turn, although we don't have the 2 Starbase discs for it, so maybe not. We could store the 4 to be able to put more dice in Ocean 1, but that seems unlikely. Kind of just feels like we need to get rid of both of these. So 7 dice for that. This is gonna discard 3 cards, but I mean, like, can't really waste time here. We still want to store a die though, right? So we could do study, probe, and that would most likely level us up. Hey, if we want to store it, I probably should just roll this Ultratech so I can use it to do a probe. And then I could store it, honestly, like directly. It doesn't say it has to be a specific color. It is helpful for being able to hit the thresholds, but I mean, we're not getting that this turn. Even if they steal another energy or material, I'm not gonna have 5 with 0 in the pool. Maybe I do store that then. Now with all the probing, I'm not gonna get enough fleets for the Solidarians. In case I do want to do that, but if I study, that's 10 science, but I wouldn't be able to spend 8. So I kind of do have to do a probe. I have 1 extra die. Right. What can I do with that? I'm stuck on that extra die again. Actually, no, I'm not, because 4, 7, 10. No, I'm fine. Okay. I was thinking it was 9 dice. And that's the only way to spend exactly 8. And they stole material and diplomacy. And again, we got crap cards. Crap in the sense of they're hard to get. They're not escalating their They're also not gaining dice next turn, are they? Yeah, because they're gaining an influence, and then they're going to discard 3 influence and gain a colony. And that's kind of bad. Oh no, they'll be at 1 colony, and that's not twice as many as my current Federation level, so. Music bug. I mean, you could just keep studying, but not making progress in what we're trying to do. I don't know what we're trying to do. Can I do this? This is kind of like high numbers though. So no, my diplomacy is pretty bad for that too. I would probably have to do blockades, so I would need fleets. So fleet away, I guess? I'll roll this die. I want to spend 2 fleets to add influence there and there. That's a lot. To get that and increase 1 on my die by 1 is really bad too. So alright, so if I'm just gonna gain 1,000,000 fleets, like if all I focus on is fleet, like then I only really need energy, which I do have energy. The alternative is I need diplomacy, which I don't have diplomacy. So I guess we make do with what we do have. So get the fleets so I can do that and store. I don't know what. Could store an energy to make sure that I can have at least 1 5. Store the Ultra Tech. Basically fills the same purpose, I think. I don't want to store something. I mean, no, they're not escalating next turn, so I'm not going to be able to get a milestone next turn anyway. You've Got Mail is pretty fun for getting influence, and it would allow me to get the diplomacies back, but all dice here have to be different values, and I currently have all 6s. Weird. I guess I didn't need to put this 5 in there though. Well, it was a 4, right? So it wasn't actually a 5. I can get 1 influence on there. Study Starburger. Sure. And I think I'm not going to spend this science because I could gain Solidarians next turn. So let's try for that. Just so that they don't double, triple escalate next turn. They gain Terra Inferma, which is a material and a diplomacy. That's okay. It's usually tech stars that are bad for them. Okay then, so if I do want to gain Solidarians, like I have to spend fleets. Because I don't have another diplomacy 5 I could spend 2 fleets to up the diplomacy 3 to a 5. I could spend the energy 5-4 to get an ultra tech 4 and spend 1 fleet on that. I also have 4 in here, right? Yep. I'm definitely doing it, so I'm gonna have to do this in some capacity. I could spend 2 fleets though, so I guess that's... Unless I have no use, like if I'm gonna run a situation where I have like too many dice and I can't really do anything with it, then there's like no purpose. Nom Nom, it is trash because I can't get the 17 easily. In terms of the fleets, because that was the hope, was I'd be able to do those. I'm also not confronting this turn, but whatever. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. But if I wanted to study Nom Nomad, I need to have an additional... Let's see, because I'm using one of these dice to go to Solidarians. I'm using one of these dice to store, probably. We're storing this 5, honestly. So let's see. Yeah, if I stored the 5, then this is the best approach. 2 dice left over. But I need... Sorry, 2 dice, but I need 4, so I'm going to take from here. Okay. Material and 2 tech stars. Spend 2 fleets to add an influence to each location. Just feel like that's stupid expensive. I'm gonna take the energy, or sorry, the materials, and maybe get that milestone next turn. And I don't need the science, I'm gonna upgrade. And now I want to blockade. Please. Don't take too many materials. I need materials. Okay. Don't take materials. It's kind of impossible to not... Yeah, because 3's... Okay, well. This is what happens when you don't confront, is that they steal too many dice. Okay. Also, Solidarians are back. That's rude. We're definitely doing this. Like, I have to do this. I have to. But now that they have too many materials and diplomacy in the pool, I can't hit these thresholds right now. So I am going to need to spend fleets or influence to get those dice back. So I'm gonna have to keep, like, I'm just gonna have to go down the fleet train. I don't really like purchasing fleets because that's cards that are removed from the deck. But I have to. I have to. And I need science for Solidarians if I want to deal with those ever. Maybe I store one of these dice. Maybe I store this so that... No, but I don't have enough energy or materials. There's no point in doing that because I don't have enough materials because you stole too many. But the diplomacy also doesn't really make sense because it's not going to be a 5 or a 6. I guess I might as well roll this. Spend a fleet to increase dice by any amount. Would that do anything? Actually, I guess that would allow me to get 5/5/6 next turn guaranteed. But let's roll the ultra attack and store it. Hope that is a good number. Of course not. Let's... Why do I have 4 dice in here, though? Why do I have 4 dice in here, though? I truly don't know. Did I think this was 4 dice to study? Or am I doing 2 probes, actually? Wasn't necessarily the direction I was going, but I do need 6 science. Let's do 2 probes. 2 dice probes are nice. Unless they're both 2s. Then it's like, well, alright. Now we really need to get around to... Once like the events are in play, they're going to start gaining colonies very rapidly, and we're not making any progress on our federation. This is actually not a bad roll. Can almost get Solidarians, but I mean, we do need to like do this crap. I should have gotten more influence, I guess. I'm doing this. We need those materials back. Does mean I can't get Solidarians this turn, but the materials are back. Can't blockade. Oh, I also can't actually do that. Ah, man, imagine being able to end the result phase with no cards in the discovery zone. Screw you, encounters. Of course, that's the challenge of this game. I can get influence on You've Got Mail to spend for the diplomacy. That's kind of what I need to do at some point, too. Let's use these because I'm not using diplomacy this turn. Unless I want to store it. I probably want to store the Ultra Tech. Do I? They're going to get an event, like a shirt. Yeah, they're getting an event. So that means that I'm gonna get overwhelmed. Like, we're definitely getting overwhelmed, right? So I think I've lost. I think I'm bad. This game was hard. Can I get a Federation level before I get overwhelmed somehow? They have too many diplomacies for me to have 5 diplomacies without spending for the influence. I could store an energy. Or sorry, not an energy, a material, but I'm not gonna have 7 unless they steal just the right number. But if they steal, I already have 5. But I guess if I take 1 and they... Sorry, if they escalate once and they steal 2 dice, then there would be 0 in the pool. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm storing a material and I'm hoping to get lucky on that. They definitely need to roll good with the materials in order for this to work. And then it's just fleets. Fleets for days. Fleets because this is apparently the only way I can win the game. And do a probe. Okay, no, we're not overwhelmed yet. Their bonus colony is Miracle World, so they're rolling more dice. That's actually fine because it's more likely they will... Oh, they're not even escalating because they have 3. Ugh. Screw you. Also, their bonus colony was just 2 tech stars, which means they're going to start stealing tech stars. I really wish I could see what those colonies are. I know there's a way, it's just I think I'm blocked to this roll right now. Just kind of annoying. Is there a way to see it? I thought there was. I guess not. I'm right-clicking and left-clicking all over the place, and I don't seem to be able to look at their colonies. Okay, well. They're currently at 3 colonies, and my Federation level is 1. Yikes. I'm doing this mainly because this is at risk of escalating. I don't think it's really going to matter. This game feels bad. I think I wanted that 6 to be a 5, whatever one I turned into a thing. Weirdly, when you hit all in the research lab, it undoes one at a time. Weird. Actually, can I get a Federation level if I just study all the locations? Actually, hold on. I wanted to get this, didn't I? And actually, if I'm doing that, then I think I didn't necessarily want to do Improbotron Collector to upgrade those. Alright, so let's get the diplomacies back. I can definitely study all the locations, so I do get a Federation level that way. We don't immediately, like we don't lose because we spent a Federation disc, but, or not Federation, adversary token, but let's do this. Spend it from there. That's the only place I can spend it from. Let me get 3 diplomacies back, one of which is a 5. Okay. Okay. I can also spend 6 science, but we're spending it over there, so I can't. Otherwise, I can get some energies back, but that's not really a priority. So I do need to use some Improbotron Collector to get the Diplomacy 6. That's the only thing I need there. If I study all the other locations, 3, 5, 8. So I need 5. I have 5 dice extra, so I have lots of extra dice. One of which needs to go there, so I have 4 extra, really. So let's see, can I do the 3? And the 1, 3, 5, 8. I mean, I could increase 3 of my dice by any value. And I'm using this just to increase 1. Actually, I guess technically I need to store a die as well. So let's see. Storing this again. Use this tech. I actually have to increase 3 dice. Oh, but. Ow! It's a soft lock! A soft lock! I don't know if that's. Okay, I'm gonna report this because I'm supposed to be proactive about this. Sorry, my M key is not working that well, apparently. I said soft lock, but technically you can't undo. Okay, so the fix here is obviously just remove another one of these and then do Improbotron Collector. Gives me that 6. And then I store that one. Okay, was that enough dice? Did I only have 8 here? 5, 8. Oh yeah, it is supposed to be 8. Okay. I could take Improbotron Collector. It is actually being pretty handy. I think I want it. Study, study, study. Sure, why not? You're gonna downgrade my starbase anyway. Alright, we got the milestones, so we're not losing to the colonies. Can we actually get another Federation novel with dice? Yes, they stole 2 materials, so I did get that milestone. Yay. Alright, things are turning around, maybe. And we are at milestone 3, so cubic farming has suddenly gone from only 1 die to 3 dice, so it's actually a lot easier to get the other milestones unless there's too many dice in here, such as the energies. So there's that. The unseen, it's really easy to get, and it gives me fleets reliably, which could get me the materials reliably. I don't seem to be able to blockade because I don't have fleets. Weird. So I kind of need fleets. So I need rapid deployment. Huh. Huh. I do have all the tech discs. I don't think we need the fleets this turn. I guess. Yeah, I guess we could do that. We could store 3 days. The thing is, I can't. I want 6s, but I have to spend a fleet to get the 6 for that anyway. Let's see. So I could store 2 diplomacies, but there's not really that. Like, I will only still have 4. And they have too many energies for me to get that. So I'm kind of locked on being able to get those at the moment. So storing for those is out of the question. I guess it does make sense to store the diplomacies just because that's the most free one right now. Guess I'm just gonna gain the fleets here. I'm increasing dice, but I'm not sure. I guess I could get an ultra tech, then increase that. I guess I wanted to increase the energy. Maybe not that ultra tech, but I could do this one instead. I want to store an ultra tech is what I'm trying to get at. Increase that for unseen. Increase that for storing, increase that for storing. Store those. Finish that. Actually finish that. And then get fleets, because we do need to confront, and apparently the only way to confront is that side. I guess with all the diplomacies I'm having, I could send envoys instead. Maybe, depending on the roles and all that. Yeah, let's gain the fleets. Gain more fleets. We do have to be mindful of the tech stars. They're at 6 energy now. That is bad. Unfortunately, I don't have the science for that because I upgraded my starbase because I'm dumb. Oh well. Can I do this? Bravotron Collector helps. Yeah, so upgrade the diplomacy and the energy. I guess I can get more materials. Just because I have 5, but they have 4 in their board, so I'm not hitting my max energy potential. Not energy, materials. I keep saying the wrong word. In any case, I have a roll here, so let's see what this roll is. 5. Okay. As well gain the fleets. I'm gonna need to get science to get the energy, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of probing and studying, but I am at Starbase Class 4, so studying is really cheap because like I get a discount innately. 1 + 1 per influence, so like a lot of these are just easy to get now. I mean, all of these are easy to get. But in any case, yeah, let's just like, it's like inefficient, quote unquote, but I'm definitely gonna do this just to get them out. Because it is getting annoying that we can't roll as many dice as we should be able to. The diplomacy is interesting. If I could store 3 diplomacies, I do get the milestone. Because they have 3 in their horde. I will have 5 in my supply if I store 3. So can I somehow still, like, do the adversary thing if I store 3? Because if I get to Federation level 4, we can just win. Just win. We can just win. As in, we can win. We can win this. But I have to be able to confront... Well, I guess I don't have to confront this turn. Because they're not escalating. Alright, so let's table the confront. Store those. Can we do that? No, we can't. Well, no, yeah, we can't. Store those. Get as many sciences as we can to pay for those. We could pay for the tech stars, I guess, but that's not. They're at 8. Or sorry, they're at 4. It's gaining 2 per turn, so it's not really that big of a priority. None of these locations I can gain this turn anyway, so let's put all of these in here. So 3, 4, 7, 10. I only have 1 die left over. Fleet. They gained Gurn for more diplomacy and tech stars. Not the worst. Adversary event set aside. Milestone achieved. Alright. Also, Uplifters is here. Roll is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Before I do that though, because the point of no return is when I roll dice. Let's spend a 6 science. The last one is for having 7 energies or 5 with 0. So if I store 3 of these, we get that milestone as well. We don't need it, but since there is a loss condition based on Federation level, I guess having it as high as possible is good. So like we only lose once they're at 10 colonies, and that's a ways away. Okay, so I was freaked about losing last turn, or not last turn, 2 turns ago? I don't know, but now we've turned things around somehow, miraculously. Although we aren't going to have as many diplomacies next turn, so we kind of have to get fleets. We want to use Reverted Converter to use one of my techs. Can I use that to do cubic farming again? How does this work? What happens? It doesn't work. Oh my god. Wait, does it work? Wait, it does work. It does work. Sort of, it works, but doesn't work. Okay, well, I'm gonna submit this. I'm pretty sure it's correct. It's just not displaying correctly. So Reverted Converter plus cubic farming. Again, my M's not really working correctly. Using Reverted Converter to reuse cubic farming should allow me to store more dice, but the UI gets a bit weird and doesn't display the stored dice in the same way as normal. The dice remain in the pool but are uninteractable. Maybe they are actually stored under the hood. Either way, it is displayed correctly. Not either way, because there's no 2 conditions here. In any case, it is displayed incorrectly. Creating Trello card. These buttons came back. Did it actually create the card and it's just not? Is there a new bug? Omnitron added this card to new feedback and it is entirely blank. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna try again. Sound. Okay. Let me see, did it add it correctly? It did. Okay. This empty one, I'm going to just remove that one. All right. So I'm not sure if those are actually stored. I'm not sure I even want them stored. I probably need to see that it is stored correctly. I'm very curious though. It's also kind of hard to grab that back because it's like, yeah. I guess I only have 2 dice left over. Let me hit the all button. I have 3 dice left over. Okay. Let's see if I get these dice back. Am I doing anything else, honestly? Like, we have science, we have fleets. I guess I want more fleets. Get the 3 and the 1. Get fleets. Okay. Let's see if I get these 6 dice. Reduce the starbase to its previous class. Rude. And they're rolling. They only store dice that are 5s or 6s. They stored none of them. Alright, milestone achieved. And I did get those dice. I'm gonna write this update on the card. Cool. All right, we're at Federation level 5. They can have 10 colonies. Well, they can have less than 10 colonies and I won't lose. Confronting I can't do with my current things. I can do with that. Might as well. I want to confront again. I need 14 fleets. Or store a bunch of things that will work towards that. Such as storing 6 dice. How about we just store 6 dice? 6 dice. Sure be nice if I could store 6 diplomacies, but you know. They currently have nothing stored. I'm kind of inclined to just make a bunch of ultratechs. Like this, and this, and this, and then spend a fleet to up those to 6s. Store those. And then store those. And they look weird, but they're stored. Trust me on this. And then fleets. I say fleets if I don't hit the fleet button. Wait. Game's broken. Game's broken. Wait. Game's still broken? Game's still broken? Oh no! The game is super broken! Oh no! There's no undo button, there's no anything. Game is super broken. Okay. I'm going to assume this is because I stored 6 dice with cubic farming. Okay. I assume this is because I stored 6 dice with cubic farming using reverted converter I added dice to the starbase. Proceeded to the resolution phase, I think is what it is. Hit undo, and then the game essentially froze. I could not undo anymore. I could not move dice anywhere or proceed. And even returning to the main menu and returning to the game did not work. Bad face. Maybe I shouldn't have titled a game as Super Broken. That feels like I'm exaggerating. I'm gonna also close the game and reopen it and see if that helps. But it could just be that I have lost the game. Like this UI is bad too, right? Like, I have the 4 locations, but this is currently the adversary display. The location should be down here and smaller. Also, there's no like things I can click on. So if I return to the main menu and continue, this is still bugged. If I go to the main menu, exit, and then I start back. Waiting for it to appear on OBS. It did. Hit continue. It is still bugged. I can look at uplifters. I can look at Starburger. I can right click on these. I can look at this. I can't move dice. I can't click this die. I can't use my text because obviously I have no text. I can click on a lot of things, but I can't undo. I can preview. I can't proceed. So what is it holding on? Oh, it thinks there's 3 dice in here also. And there's also supposed to be 6 dice stored, and they were previously stored over here in line, but they're kind of way off somewhere. The reason that I wrote that I think it has something to do with reverted converter and cubic farming is that, like, I don't know if the game, like, I mean, this is, I want to say it's a memory allocation issue, but I don't know if that's still, like, a thing in modern games and stuff. But, like, there's, like, a common thing in Pokemon games, like the older Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, all that, where you could store data in places where it's not supposed to, and basically rewrite the game code and corrupt a lot of things, and that's bad. So I highly doubt that'll be the case here, because why would it be? There's, like, no longer memory storage issues in the modern world, and this game's not like memory intensive, resource intensive, so it's not very limited on space. But it's possible that when I stored the extra 3 dice from cubic farming, that it overwrote memory somewhere and created something screwy, because it wasn't expecting there to be dice 4, 5, and 6 in cubic farming. But hell if I know. Well, I don't think I can do anything since I can't undo. There's like nothing to do other than stare at this sad screen. Tragedy. We were going to win that though. It would have been an interesting turn next turn. I wish I could see. I guess I can. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to forfeit this game. Or not. I guess I can hit new game and not worry about it. Would I've had enough to do the 28 and the 35? I mean, the energy wasn't an issue. It was the diplomacy, and we could only store 2 of them, rolling an extra 2, and then we had like stored a bunch of ultra tech, so maybe we would have. Also, we did have the the increased dice to certain values tech, so like I think it would have been pretty trivial at that point. So it's like, it's not a question of like whether we would have won or not. We were winning. We were absolutely winning. So just can't go through the motions, but it is a moral victory for us. We'll stare at this wonderful screen once more. Anyway, that is it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Be sure to check out the other streams we have on this channel. Every Friday at 4 p.m. is Luck of the Seamus with Seamus the Hug Monster. Every Sunday at 1 p.m. is Spirit Island Saturdays with usually Seamus, and this coming Sunday will be my last venture for a while, so check it out. And every Tuesday at 7 p.m. is Handelabra Live with usually John, and then Thursdays at 7 is myself. And Handelabra products include Sentinels of the Multiverse, Sentinels of Earth Prime, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, One Deck Galaxy, Aeon's End, Spirit Island, and Horizons of Spirit Island, all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices except for One Deck Galaxy, which is in early access on Steam. Also, One Deck Dungeon is on Switch as well. You can find more information on those games at handelabra.com. But that is it from me tonight. Sorry this game couldn't finish, but at least we had an interesting ending. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.